do is make money, I don't do shit else. Wake up, count racks, and I count that again. Broke boys talking, I don't hear what they say. Got your bitch on my line, she just want what I spend. All I do is make money, I don't do shit else. Middle finger up, yeah, fuck how you feel. If it ain't by the bag, I don't pick up this cell. Stack it up, flip it quick, I've been living too well. Walking, drip like whole fit disrespectful. Talking about money, little boy, that's my schedule. I don't got time for no broke ass lecture. You counting opinions, I'm counting extra. New chain coat, make your neck feel jealous. I don't say please, I just say send it. Make account look like a goddamn fetish. Everyday payday, I meant that, I said it. You flex online, that shit look pretending. I just hit deposit, that shit never ending. You worry about me, I ain't worry about nothing. I spent your rent on some dumb shit for fun, yeah. All I do is make money, I don't do shit else. Wake up, count racks, then I count that again. Broke boys talking, I don't hear what they say. Got your bitch on my line, she just want what I spend. All I do is make money, I don't do shit else. Middle finger up, yeah, fuck how you feel. If it ain't about the bag, I don't pick up the cell. Stack it up, flip it quick, I've been living too well. Hey, petty as fuck, yeah, I'm flexing on purpose. Bought the same chain twice just to make them feel worthless. You saving receipts, I'm just buying for fun. You waiting on checks, I got 10 of them coming. Bitch said she loved me, I told her I doubt it. You love how I spin, yeah, don't talk around it. I'm lit every day, I ain't asked for permission. I'm breaking the bank and I'm making new digits. Too many commas, I'm losing the count. You making excuses, I'm making it count. I walk in the room and it's quiet as hell, cause everybody know I've been ringing a bell. Money on my mind, I don't sleep right. If it ain't a bag, it don't feel right. You broken, you loud, that don't seem right. I'm rich and I'm real, yeah, that's me, right? All I do is make money, I don't do shit else. Wake up, count racks, then I count that again. Broke boys talking, I don't hear what they say. Got your bitch on my line, she just want what I spend. All I do is make money, I don't do shit else. Middle finger up, yeah, fuck how you feel. If it ain't about the bag, I don't pick up the cell. Stack it up, flip it quick, I've been living too well.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where today is a beautiful Thursday, August the 6th, and it is a very important day. Does anyone know why? I'm not asking this rhetorically, but today is a very, 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 very important day in all of our lives, and I want to know if anyone had this day circled, marked, alert set on their phone. It's my birthday. No, it might be your birthday, but that's not why today is important. Redemption Day. No, it's not that. It's not my birthday. My birthday was in July. It's not Megan's birthday. It's not Megan's birthday. Not that I think her birthday was in like January or something. Not that I remember. Like, that would be super weird if I was right. And it's like probably not January 7th, like, because that would be really, really weird. So it's probably not that day. It's probably another day. Can anyone figure it out? You guys were supposed to have this day. SpaceX. It is SpaceX Unlock Day. That is accurate, but that's not why today's so incredibly important. $1 million payday. No, it's not that. Piper's B-Day. Actually, no. Piper's B-Day was 2 days ago. Good call out there. Very, very close. No, my birthday was in July. Come on, folks. Come on. Standing up to pee again. We're working on it. We're working on. Really? None of you know this? None of you can figure out a new Buffalo shirt reveal? It is not that day. It is not that day. It is not that day. It is my sister's birthday, but that's not why today is so incredibly important. Folks, seriously? First streaming day? Yeah, this is my first stream ever, so that's going to be a whole new career for me. You're going to get a Corolla? Nope, I'm rocking the RAV4 these days. You become a Stairmaster king? Nope, haven't Stairmastered in forever. Anniversary? No, that's in a couple days. That's in 6 days. Daughter's wedding? It's always my daughter's wedding. Folks, seriously? It's haircut day. You guys should know this. Come on. We all know that every single year on August 6th, I get a haircut. Folks, you got to think outside the box. You guys should be knowing this. It's haircut day. So don't be surprised when I come on the stream tomorrow and you guys are all like, whoa, who's the new guy? It's going to be me. It's going to be me with different hair. So come on. Come on, folks. It's haircut day. It's haircut day. And you guys forgot about that already? So yeah, this is your warning. If your wife watches the show, girlfriend, boyfriend's girlfriend, you might want to have them avoid tomorrow's show, because not only am I getting my haircut, I'm getting my beard trimmed. So you guys, that's your notice. Whatever you want to do with that information, if you want to heed my warning and ensure your wife of 25 plus years doesn't watch the show tomorrow, you should do that. But if you want to take the risk, man, take the risk. That's on you. That is 100% all on you. But beyond the fact that obviously it's a haircut day, there is important stuff going on in the market. With respect to the overall market, things are looking a little spicy. SPY is pretty much at the closing from yesterday. And remember, there's a downside gap fill. The Qs are below the low from yesterday. And that's because the tech sector is taking a bit of a hit. Right now in real time, chip stocks are really selling off because of the recent report from SanDisk and Western Digital. They both had earnings last night and they weren't so good. They beat on top and bottom line, but it was their future guidance that the market was like, and that's exactly why the tech sector, really the AI chips, are taking a pretty sizable hit. And another way to say that is the fear of the AI trade being over has once again returned. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the overall market. In terms of the overall market, there are some interesting moving parts. We got initial jobless claims already this morning at 8:30. They were slightly below expectations. We have the big unemployment report tomorrow, which is probably going to set up an interesting move in yields, bonds, honestly, not jokingly, probably the yen as well, to see what's going on over there. So we have to talk a little bit about monetary policy and all that, but then diving into some individual stories, we have two really interesting stories for you today. Numero uno. Today is the first unlock day for SpaceX. About $100 billion, anywhere from $99 to $101 billion of SpaceX stock will be unlocked today. And we're going to look at the short interest. We're going to look at the options positioning, but not to, I guess, blow the lead on this story, but people are positioned for things to go down. Obviously, that's a short-term bet. And in the long term, I think SpaceX will be hyper successful. But I want to break down everything that this SpaceX unlock is all about. And number two, our boy Leopold, situational awareness, 225 million to 45 billion, blows it up, goes from the king of Wall Street to the peasant of Wall Street within 1 month. He is back with a $400 million investment. So we have two individual stories that I really want to dive into. And then from there, the market's going to open. And based on how I've been trading recently, I'll probably blow out a few accounts. So there's also that. So that's the plan for today. I hope you had a great day yesterday. I hope you had a great night, whatever you got up to. And I hope you're ready for, ideally, fingers crossed, knock on wood, another profitable trading session. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on all those notifications, all that good jazz. And with that being said, let's look at it. As you can see here, top left, SPY, pretty much at the closing, which was basically the low value. Qs are gapping down. We are gearing to open up below the low value of yesterday. Not so good. WDC, Western Digital Corporation, they're in the world of AI, but they actually make the storage for the hard disk. So when people say WDC is a storage play, that's technically right, but it's probably not the storage play that you're thinking of, as in like actual memory storage, which is actually SanDisk. So anyway, two AI plays. And as you can tell, the market is not treating them fondly. WDC is down 15%. And then you have SanDisk, which is down 11%. And then Sympathy, negative reactions, Micron down 5.4%. So overall, chip plays are selling off, which is why the SPY is getting hit, but really it's why the Qs are getting hit worse. And then if you want to track the ETF that's really tracking this sector, here, you can see that SMH also taken a little bit of a hit on top of the sell-off from yesterday. So that's your skinny on how things are setting up for the morning. Let me do my job and kind of prep you up for the whole situation. Negotiators close in on deal with Iran to open Hormuz. Agreement would give Tehran the role overseeing traffic, but wouldn't allow tolls. So once again, we're in the 38th ceasefire and the 99th announcement that we've somehow won this. But remember how like months ago in the first week, like we won it and then we won it again. Is anyone getting tired of winning this Iran conflict? Because I am. Like it just every single day I'm being told from the administration, we won, we won, we won, we won. I don't know. When history books really reflect on this time, it feels like we're kind of padding our stats. You know, sometimes when you're watching some of the sports hoops games and they're all padding their stats at the end of the game, that's how this feels. It feels like we won some important wars in the history of the U.S., but since then, just based on Trump's announcements solely, we've like 10x'd it. We've gone from winning, I don't know, handful of wars, sub 10, to now we're actually pushing triple digits. It really actually feels like we are pushing triple digits. So exciting, obviously very exciting. Iran says deal with Oman and Strait of Hormuz agreed in principle. That reminds me of the times when my wife asked me if I did my chores. Matt, did you finish the dishes? Yeah, I did them in principle. It reminds me of the times that you guys asked me, like, how's my trade going? Oh, I made money in principle. So is it in reality? Not at all. But did it happen in theory? Yeah, theoretically, I did do all my chores. Theoretically, I did not screenshot my gains and I actually locked in the profits. In principle, I did do that. But in theory, it's slightly a different thing. U.S. ready to return to commitments. Iran says the Strait of Hormuz deal looms. The Iran deputy foreign minister said the U.S. was ready to return to commitments without elaborating. Remember, this is the same dude who a couple days ago said that we're not talking with the U.S. at all. And then obviously that's when Trump popped off on Truth Social, which you could pay $100,000 a month for, and called it duplicitous. Big SAT word of the day. Iran said a joint statement with Oman on arrangements for the Strait was in the final stages of review and drafting. A source linked to the deal told MS Now that the Strait of Hormuz will face no fees or tolls under a temporary agreement to kickstart fresh negotiations. So once again, what is this? How many rounds of negotiations do we have? Like 11,000? Honestly, it's tough to even keep track of where we're going. So in the larger macro story, the overall market, oil, bonds, yields, that's some important news you should know. You should also know that today, in terms of reports, is a light day. We got initial jobless claims, as I alluded to before, slightly less than expected. But the real thing is tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, an hour before the market opens, we're going to be getting the unemployment rate. They are expecting 4.2%, which is not a historic low, but it's very close to historic low. So depending on if we beat that, hit it, kind of miss it, it's going to have implications on what's going on with monetary policy. Remember, there is no FOMC meeting in the month of August, but there is the Jackson Hole Symposium, which is basically where a bunch of rich people meet up in Jackson Hole, and it's such a I guess like a debacle that they like have to fly in. What would be the term that I can say properly on stream? Ladies of the night, and they end up getting a massive payday. Like it's a big thing. Did you guys know that? Like in Jackson Hole for this particular event, also in Davos, those are the two things where there's like kind of a problem, but it's kind of, well, depends on who you are if you define it as a problem or not. But ladies of the night get a big payday at Jackson Hole and Davos. So just fun little fact for you guys there. But anyway, Trump has called Warsh repeatedly since he became Fed chair. The president has sought Warsh's counsel on issues such as how the war in Iran is affecting the economy. Well, it's affecting it to the point that we had to bail out Japan, and really we only bailed out Japan to bail out ourselves because they own so many of our treasuries, and the yen was plummeting to kingdom come, so we had to step in to do something about it because remember, we have pressures our own with the yields going up, bond prices going down. The last thing we need when bond prices are barreling down. I mean, have you seen this? Look at TLT. This is the 20-year bond. It's barreling down, folks. Let's go to the weekly. It is absolutely vomiting. When your bonds look like this, and obviously yields would be reciprocal, they move in opposite directions. When it looks like this, the last thing you need is one of the largest country holders of our treasuries to be selling. So did we bail out Japan because of what's happening? And remember, the yen's under pressure because they are large importers of energy and their trade is getting absolutely destroyed. So we stepped in, but also, I guess, silver lining, that's why we're getting so many amazing clips of President Trump saying Japan surprised us with Pearl Harbor, and that's the only time we really weren't friends. Interesting stuff. But anyway, we have a lot of movement going on in monetary policy. We're going to be getting an update tomorrow with the unemployment, but right now it's a 50-50 shot. In real time, and this happens in 41 days, the Fed decision in September, once again, not August, there's no FOMC meeting in August, it is 49, 49, and 2%. So 49% chance of staying flat, 49% chance of going up, 2% chance of actually getting a cut. So we're not going to be getting a cut, which is interesting because remember for the past 6 to 8 months, how Trump is just running around town calling Jerome Powell too stupid, too slow, doesn't know what he's doing. He demanded rate cuts, and now look at us. He brought in a whole new Fed chair who many people thought was just going to be his puppet, and now it actually seems like the first big rate change is actually going to be a rate hike. Well, at least there's a 50-50 shot of it. So things to pay attention to, but in terms of monetary policy, Trump kind of proved he doesn't know what he's talking about. And when I say that, I think he knows what he's talking about, but he knows that what he says publicly has to be selling basically a different thing. So I think this is one of those things where he actually picked a good Fed chair. We probably should have someone who is hawkish to fight inflation, but I think I actually deeply believe a lot of the things that he said publicly, he doesn't believe in. And I think the proof of that is who he picked as Fed chair. I think that's actually insanely evident. I actually think he really liked Jerome Powell. I think a lot of it was just for the show. I think there's a big differential in between what was happening with monetary policy and personal opinions versus all the sound bites that we were getting. Like, I think it was all truly just for the show. Deeply believe that. All right, let's talk about some individual equities. We're still in earnings season. As I've already kind of spoken about, why the market's taking a hit this morning is because of SanDisk and Western Digital, just to name a couple of the reasons. So SanDisk, it did beat right here, beat on top and on bottom line, and it is dropping precipitously ever since then, SNDK. So at first it was down 2%. It is now down 11%. And that might have some of you shocked to be like, Matt, how could something beat, but then it's down? It happens all of the time. And really the reason here is probably the future guidance for sales. But SanDisk data center revenue jumped 103% last quarter, and it is up 1,300% year over year. So where it was and where it is now is very impressive. But remember, this is a very good lesson. The market bases its prices of where we're about to go. So you can look at this and be like, those are amazing numbers. And they are amazing numbers, which explains why it ran up. But the next question is, where is it going next? And the only real information we have on that is the future guidance from the company, and the company didn't really do exactly what the market thought it would, but it's not the only one. Western Digital did this as well. Once again, going the exact same way as SanDisk. It beat on top line, it beat on bottom line, and it vomits 10% anyway, and it's for the exact same reason. The forward-looking guidance wasn't exactly what Wall Street thought it would be. So that's your lesson. If you haven't learned your lesson already, in terms of earnings, it is interesting to know where the company's been, but the price, the stock price, remember, the stock market is a forward-looking, predicting organism. It's pricing in where it thinks things are about to go, and it doesn't really care about where we've been. So right now, the market's taking a hit, even though these companies beat. I cannot stress that enough. They did beat, but we're looking ahead to the next quarter, not necessarily in the rear view. And obviously, because they technically, I can't say they missed. They had a negative reaction, let's put it. That is causing havoc not only in the NASDAQ for us, but in the overnight session, if you paid attention to what was happening in the Asian tech sector, not so good. Hynix plunging 10% after Wall Street AI names fall. So the AI fears have returned. Chip stocks are taking a huge hit. And then there's a couple other problems here and there. In the meantime, I know it doesn't have earnings. I just wanted to share this. Meta debuts first AI coding agent to take on Anthropic and OpenAI. I know Meta is getting its teeth kicked in, but I'm telling you, I am still very happy to be in this stock in the long term. I know things are looking sketchy, and I know they've looked kind of sketchy ever since August of last year, but I'm looking 5, 10, 20 years out. Do I have an active trade on Meta at this moment in time? I do not. Am I invested in it? Yes. And I'm actually thinking about investing more. So just wanted to let you know that Meta, we know that they're putting more money into AI, and we're finally starting to see something from that. And that brings me to today's biggest stock market story. I'm talking about SpaceX, ticker symbol SPCX. It is officially their D-Day. Over $100 billion. You heard me right. Not million, billion. Over $100 billion worth of SpaceX shares unlock tomorrow. Obviously, this was written yesterday. So we're talking about today, August the 6th, and it's kind of a crazy story. Houston, we have a problem. SpaceX launches on its public debut, its IPO. Remember, IPO price was $135, makes its debut above $150, rockets to about $225, $230, and ever since then, we are making new record lows. So before we get into the unlock, what it is, what it means, not only for the short term, but for the long term, you might be just thinking, okay, like, why is it taking a hit so much? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. Jim Cramer says investors should consider buying SpaceX for their kids. Remember, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not the one who made Jimbo say this, but if you want to know why SpaceX is taking a hit, it's because Mr. Cramer decided to say something positive about it. There are many things you can do in the world of trading. You can do deep fundamental analysis. You could do statistical arbitrage. You could do proper sizing. You could do everything in this world to find the edge you need to be a profitable trader and or investor. But the one thing you can't do is beat Jim Cramer. If you are long, if you are bullish, and he agrees with you, you might as well just pack it up because you were dealt pocket aces and you just got absolutely rivered. My apologies, but it's just the way of the market. Now, obviously, jokes aside, there is a little bit of information we should go on with SpaceX. First of all, they just had their earnings 2 days ago, and it was good. They beat on top and bottom line. They beat on their EPS. They beat on revenue. The whisper number for how many signups that they wanted on Starlink wasn't quite there, but across the board, it was good. Obviously, Elon on the call was talking a lot about their CapEx and how things are going to be very exciting, but it's going to take a lot of money. And yeah, that's something to consider, but the market obviously doesn't care too much about that right now. Once again, the IPO price was at $135. We're trading at $107. It debuted at $150, rocketed all the way to $225, and as of yesterday's close, down 52%. Before I get into this next segment, I want to be very clear. I am bullish on the long term of SpaceX. 10, 20, 30 years from now, I think SpaceX will be trading much higher. I want to make that very clear. In the short term, I think it's about to take a hit, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, before we get into the unlock period, the short interest, and the options positioning, you need to know that this is just generally the way of high-flying tech IPOs. Look at the history of your favorite tech play, and there's a good chance that the IPO period was like this. It started off way too overhyped, gets pumped up, a lot of people get trapped, starts to sell off. Then because people are trapped, it sells off more. Then you get to roughly, it's commonly around 180 days. SpaceX is a little bit unique. Around 180 days, there's an unlock, and then the sell-off gets worse. So generally with IPOs, if you really like it as an investor, the best thing commonly, of course you can find counterexamples of this, commonly you just want to wait. And I'm not seeing any difference here. So I just want to preface that before I get into why I think it's about to take a larger hit, and it'll probably go sub $100. SpaceX faces 101 billion share unlock. So up to 911 million shares can be sold today. If you've never heard of a lockup period, well, remember, before a company makes its public debut, there's a lot of people. There are employees, there's investors, VCs, hedge funds, banks. There's a lot of people involved on the private side before it goes public, and they all have shares, they all have equity. Well, they have come up with lockup periods because they don't want all those people to sell the very first day, which is why you kind of see tranches. A lot of the times it's 180 days later, but there's obviously variance on it. And on the screen now, you can see the tranches. So what does this mean this particular time? The numbers are very interesting. A total of 911 million shares of SpaceX, that's the $100 billion, held by employees and early investors become eligible to trade today. August the 6th. That's 43% more than the roughly 640 million shares at IPO. So the float, the amount of shares in existence, is going to go up by 43%. SpaceX free float is set to increase about 5%, from 5 to 12% of outstanding shares. Now, this really kind of gets interesting when you dive into the math of the short position. Now, obviously, the stock has been taking a hit, so it's natural to ask, okay, like what's the short interest? As of market open today, it is sitting at 34%. That is pretty high. But remember what this is. This is a ratio. This is the amount of shares that are assumed to be short divided by the free float. But the free float, the amount of shares that can be publicly traded, are about to change. So we're actually going to see an interesting change in this. Obviously, it's going to drop. To cover some of the other numbers, shares on loan, very high, 433 million. Well, once again, that number could theoretically go up because we were sitting at 100% utilization. If you don't know what utilization is, that's the amount of shares that are out on loan that could theoretically go out on loan. But the pool of this is, once again, about to increase quite a bit today. So the ratio numbers are probably going to drop, but then the magnitude is probably going to increase. The magnitude of shares on loan, the magnitude of the dollars bet against SpaceX are probably going to be increasing, but the percentages are going to drop because basically we're diluting the pool. But just so you know, I mean, the borrow change has been increasing like no other. Already this morning, the market's not even open. People have borrowed 10 million shares against SpaceX, and they've only returned 62,000. So as of right now, market open on the 6th, we're looking at a short interest around 36%. So yes, people are betting against it, and they might be playing the tranche of players. They might be thinking that it's going to fail. I don't know their reasoning. I think eventually they're going to be wrong, but in the short term, I do think they're going to be right because we're even seeing these plays play out in the options market. SpaceX traders have been selling calls, generating blue on the map above, shout out to Spot Gamma, and buying puts. So basically, they're selling positive delta and buying negative delta. So that's 2x the rate of dropping the delta, putting pressure to the downside. This gives dealers positive gamma above 120, which is resistance, and negative gamma below 90. So once again, we're seeing it in the options market. We're seeing it with short interest. We're seeing it just fundamentally with what's going on with not really dilution. That's not the right term, but this unlock. There's going to be a lot of downside pressure in the short term on SpaceX. And just to wrap this up, for those of you who are maybe not focusing on the short term, like I said, long term, 10, 20, 30 years from now, I'm very bullish on SpaceX. I do think it'll be able to execute on what its lofty plans are. But for those of you who are more medium term, on the screen now, and I did tweet this out, you can see the other tranches, the other unlock periods. You have some in August, September, after Q3, December of this year, and then in June of 2027. And just, you know, Musk himself is quite a bit later. He does have the 6.4 million shares, but he can't touch his till June 12th of 2027. So I just want to get that on the record. But have no doubt about it, as we're kicking off the new month of August, this is very much the D-Day for SpaceX. I personally believe in the short term, it's going to wreak havoc. I think in the medium term, things are going to stabilize. And I think in the long term, this will be a very, very big winner. And on that note,
Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun.
all right, market is opening up, which means I need to get out of these gazillion different tabs that I have open for your little SpaceX update there. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, 100% free. My mob will drop it in chat, gives you a breakdown of everything going on. And I just want to get to the seasonality of today, which, just so you know, does favor the bulls. This is the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought at open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market. You can see over the past 10 years, the bulls have been winning this day. Now, does that mean it has to play out that way? No, I'm just letting you know how this day has played out historically, and tomorrow is also favoring the bulls. All right. Just to call this out, there was an upside gap fill on SPX, which we've already filled. So yesterday's low was what? 7720. We opened up at 7713 and then obviously pushed up a little bit there. So just wanted to let everyone know what's going on. Ooh, how do I want to think about this? How do I want to play this? So there was a little bit of gap on SPX. There was no gap on SPY. Sometimes there is a difference because remember that SPX is the theoretically perfect index. It is the index, while SPY is the ETF created to track said index. So just wanted to call that out to everyone. Where is this gap fill? Hang on. I might need to do something. 7-6. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, mother, oh, brother, oh, mother, oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother, oh, mother, oh, brother, oh, mother, oh, mother, oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother, oh, mother, oh, brother. Hang on. I'm interested in maybe a little early morning swing play here. If I can get to wherever the hell it is that I need to go. Do I actually like this? I think so. Okay. I just did a little bit of a new swing play that I'm going to be putting into the Discord. I'm throwing this in the Discord right now. A little bit of a swing play on SPX. Here you go. Here you go. I'm throwing it in as soon as I possibly can. Okay, here. Okay, that's in there. That's in there. That's in there. That is in there. So we don't need that right now. We're pushing the low there. Hang on. What's the gap? How do I want to do this? I might need to do a couple. Whoa. Okay. All right. All right. All right. We're a little slow to react, but that's all right. You know, that's A-okay. That is A-okay. We'll do this one, and then there's a gap there. How do I want to? There's a double gap on the Qs, kind of interesting. A double gap on the Qs. Kind of interesting. Okay. Well, I did what I wanted to there. We already took out the overnight low. That was, if you took that buy, I mean, it's technically working right now, but that was a brutal one to withstand if you attempted to buy the overnight low. Am I where I need to be? Yes, I am. All right, one more screenshot for everyone in the Discord. I was just rebalancing stuff because of the gap situation, just trying to play the best odds that I can. I haven't traded any futures yet, and I will give you a futures update. I'm just doing what I can here. Okay, that's all good. Okay, good. All right, I am where I need to be. The SPY is at the low and the close from yesterday. The Qs, we do have an upside gap fill to about 717, worthwhile to pay attention to. Very much worthwhile to pay attention to. I just kind of showed you on the daily chart. Here, I'll mark this anyway, just so you guys have it right there. Yesterday's low is 716.92. So there's a gap up to 716.92, but there's also a downside gap fill to 701.59. So the question is, which one gets filled first? And maybe they're both going to get filled, ? But anyway, we're looking at 717, and we're also looking at 701, something to put on your radar. Looking at momentum, 1 minute was bearish, trying to push bullish. 5 minute is bearish. 10 minute is bearish. 30 minute is bearish. Looking at NQ, the 1 minute is bearish, pushing bullish. 5 minutes about to be testing. 10 minute is bearish. 30 minute is bearish. So the 5, 10, 30 on ES and NQ are all bearish. 1 minute's pushing, and remember to flip trend. Obviously, you start with the 1 minute, then 5, then 10, then 30. So we'll see how much this can actually carry. It might be going for the upside gap fill. That's totally possible. In terms of key levels, well, you do have this node situation, 770 by 780 all the way up here. That is the spot gamma implied one-day move high. There is a huge negative gamma node at 7,700. Did we hit that yet today? No. I would say this is a major downside target for the bear camp today, 7,700. How do I know that? Because look at this giant node. It is a 99 percentile play here. That is a huge negative gamma strike. Now, are those players right? Are they wrong? Your guess is as good as mine, but obviously we are going to be paying very close attention to that. Can I zoom in a little bit? So we have some negative gamma above, a little bit of negative gamma beneath, and then that kind of stops at 7690. So I still think the interesting test today is 7700. If we get above and hold above confidently 7725, I would say the bulls are looking for either 7760, 7770 up there for SPX if we can hold this level. If we do not hold this level, then obviously 7700 is the main play with maybe a little bit of a kicker to 7680. Those are, as of now, like my 0 DTE levels. Obviously, this is all based by like just real-time trading, so it can change. Obviously, the delta moves, which is going to be changing the gamma map, but we sold off a little bit at open, and now we're obviously popping on the S&P 500. Mag 7, same thing, a little bit of a sell-off, pop going flat, and then the NASDAQ here, a little bit of a sell-off, pop going flat. So this might be legit bullishness. Obviously, that's possible. There's also a non-zero chance that this is just the play for the upside gap fill, and it could maybe shit out there. It could shit out before and then go for the downside gap fill. It's a little tough of read on the NASDAQ. Obviously, we know there is pressure from SpaceX. We know there's pressure from SanDisk, Western Digital, the AI trade as a whole. Structurally, you have the upside gap fill. You have the downside gap fill. So eventually, both of these gaps are going to get filled. The question is when, and the question is potentially which is first and which is second. So something to pay attention to on the Qs. The SPY, a little bit of a easier setup because there's just a downside gap fill. We did hit a record high yesterday. If you're looking at SPX, it was a hair below 7,800. It was 7,793. We swept that low, kind of getting a inverse V setup, and obviously downside gap fill to 7,610. And even if it hits that, we're still not even close to the EMAs because this was such a bazooka rocket to the upside. So something to call out there. The small cap sector, that same V setup, there is a downside gap fill. If you happen to be playing small cap, just so you know, there's a not holding 300, made the all-time high at 303, downside gap fill to 29666. Looking at Bitcoin, it's right at its cloud, not doing anything too exceptional. Lower highs, higher lows, consolidating. Palantir after the 30% ripper, giving back some of it, not all of it, but something to point out. SpaceX, remember this is the unlock day, so maybe some interesting movement there. AMD just below its cloud. Meta going slightly green, looking for that breakout of 600, 605. Micron going slightly red in sympathy play to SanDisk and Western Digital. NVIDIA looking very strong. NVIDIA ripping from 190 to 224, not even looking back. That is a baller move. Microsoft also ripping like no other. Apple trying to recover ever since its earnings hit. I do think going for the upside gap fill, eventually that will hit at roughly 330. Tesla has been weak and continues to remain weak. SanDisk gap down after its earnings. Just right now, to me, that's like a hold and wait type of play. Intel, just also waiting on that one. Amazon ripped to new all-time highs, taking a little bit of a breather. Google, huge recovery, 315 to 385. Looking for this test of the 50 EMA. Maybe it'll bounce off of that. Just something to call out. Broadcom, looking for this breakout to see if it'll actually continue or not. There is a downside gap fill to 392.61. TSM trying to actually break out. HUT getting hit. Lam Research not getting the breakout, getting rejected yesterday. Right there, that's exactly where Marvel's at. ASML trying to get its breakout. It's knocking on the 50 EMA. RUM has earnings next week, kind of coasting ever since the end of June. Netflix still very, very red. Oracle still very, very red. Texas Roadhouse hitting an all-time high at the start of this week and hanging out right in that zone. CoreWeave trying to get the breakout, as of now getting smacked, but maybe they'll get that follow through above 95. Coinbase has been shit. MicroStrategy has been shit. DJT, nice recovery from 7 to 10, giving a little bit back. AMC, maybe a double top, maybe a higher low, who knows. Bonds still really bad. Silver, just at its EMA cloud. Gold actually trying to break out. Oil, slightly green, but overall it did fail on that pump. And then looking at our crappy penny stocks, CAST is dead. TGHL is going to die. S-Stock continues to die. Zbit, second life, but looks like it's going to die. PN died. We talk about this short at 1367. AD, like these are, like you're seeing the same thing over and over. Even my Cayman Islands play couldn't hold. AMIX, this is another one that's going to viciously die. Like we see the same thing time and time again with these penny stock pump and dumps. All right, that was your just like a little bit of a update, a little bit of a review of these individuals. SanDisk trying to recover. SpaceX, we have that up on the screen today to see how the unlock's really going to play out. To break down how my accounts did. So I had an interesting day, a very frustrating day yesterday. You guys saw the weird orders. So I had 15 funded accounts and they all took a big hit, double the size they should have. I was able to save 6 of them, the ones that got a weird trade. The other 9 I wasn't able to. So then I had to restart the Tradeifys and 4 of is that right? Yeah, 9. So we had the 4 Lucids and the 5 Tradeifys that had to restart. Yesterday, I ended up maxing them out on their consistency. So maybe I'll be able to pass them today. So kind of a mixed bag. Out of the 15, I was able to save 6, all of the MFFs, 1 of the Lucids. And then I had to restart on 4 Lucids and then restart on 5 Tradeifys. I also did pass one of the TPT, so I bought another eval because the other one is currently pending to go live. So a little bit of a mixed bag. Basically today, trading on 6 funded accounts, and then I have 10 evals is what's going on. So like I said, very much a mixed bag. Mixed bag. To explain where I'm at. And as you can see, I am running QuantFather. I have brought QuantFather back from the grave. QuantFather is currently enabled to run on 6 of my accounts. The 5 MFFs and then the 1 take profit is where I'm running my QuantFather strategy today. We'll see how things go, but that's what I plan on doing. SanDisk. All right, we're popping up here. So the 1 minute is pushing, has gone bullish, popped up, pulled back, a nice higher low there. The 5 minutes trying to break out, 10 minutes testing. I find 480 to 500 very interesting, but I find 480 the most interesting because 473 is the 10-minute 50 EMA, and surprise, surprise, it's also VWAP. VWAP is 466. 466 there. Where's the other one? Where did I lose? No, I didn't. So watching both VWAP. So we ran up to the 10-minute 50 EMA, which statistically does have influence on the day, on the market, all that good jazz. We ran up to that VWAP. We're pushing. I'm curious, will it actually be able to get above this 466 to 500 region, or is it going to turn and then revisit the RTH VWAP? So the white dash line is the session VWAP, the VWAP created by checking out what is happening from market open until now. Market opens at 6 p.m. the night before. The RTH VWAP is the normal market open at 9:30. So we have 2 different VWAPs, and that's the only way to change VWAP is basically the time that you start it. You could start it at market open, session open, the start of the week, the start of the month, the start of the quarter, the start of the year, the start of the decade. You can. That's the only difference in the volume weighted average price is the moment at which you start recording the data, and that's what the different VWAPs are. Are you doing it from the high of the day, from the low of the day, from midday, from midnight? Like that's the only thing you change in VWAP is the time at which you start recording the data. So that's why we have 2 different VWAPs up, 9:30 start, and then session start 6 p.m. the night before. Let me switch up my screen here. And then you guys want, okay, book maps above my head. You can see the white line right here. We're at VWAP. The point of control is 400. The point of control is 400. Are we actually going to get above VWAP here? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. What are we doing? 946. Here's our VWAP line. What's the market trying to do? We do have this succession of higher highs and higher lows. We have this low, this low, this low. We're popping, we're going, we're tagging 500. The question is, how much above 500 does it really want to go? All right, so we're above both VWAPs. The 1 minute cloud is now obviously bullish. The 5 minute is trying to break out. The 10 minute is trying to break out. The question is, will it? Will this hold? The 1 minute went nice. The 5 minutes pushing. This is, in my book, the interesting thing. Will the 10-minute keep going? And if it does, will it break 575, which is the 30-minute 50 EMA, or is this where it will get swiftly rejected? The Matt Kohrs Show, sponsored by Cardi C. Don't know who Cardi C is, but hell yeah. Speaking of sponsorship, shout out to TPT. We're partnered up with them. 40% off, no activation fee, daily payouts, no consistency, no DLL, none of that stuff. Just a good firm with reasonable, acceptable rules. Shout out to TPT. There's a good reason we're partnered up with them. There's a good reason a lot of you, I can see how many signups there are, love them. There's a lot of reason why just the prop community likes TPT. It's because as of now, based on the information we have, they are running a legitimately good shop. So if you want to support me, if you want a TPT account, don't forget to use that code Goonie, because that's exactly how you'll get the deal. Once again, GOONIE is how you can get the 40% off, no activation fee, daily payouts, no consistency, no DLL. Good shop, great shop, honestly. So check out that code Goonie if you are interested. And if you're interested in trading with me, that's the Goonie Discord. GoonieTrading.com is how you can get signed up. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, come to the contact page, and this will directly come to me. It's not going to be one of those things where like it's an AI response or someone else. This is literally coming to my own email. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just come to the contact page. And that's probably the most efficient way to get a hold of me, just so you know. I try to trick it as much as I do, but I generally respond to everyone within 24 to 48 hours. Best customer service and payouts without the kerfuffle. Yeah, so I mean, I guess if you enjoy the kerfuffle, that's probably not for you. But if you don't want kerfuffle, TPT is awesome. TPT is awesome. Actually, question for you. If you could only trade on one prop firm, which one would it be? If you could only trade on one prop firm, I'm looking at you guys in chat. Once again, this is not rhetorical. I'm actually looking for your feedback here. If you had to pick one, who would it be? Antidote says TPT. 888 says Lucid, TPT, Lucid, TPT, Lucid. All right, so we're going back and forth between those two. Interesting. MFS based on the new Rapid EOD account. That is a slight edge there on TPT, if that matters. It kind of, a lot of these depend on your trading style. They really do. I've been trading Apex because of the cheap evals. Those are nice. And hey, I like them too. And I like the 20 accounts. I just wish I could trade with them. Unfortunately, your boy's frozen. Easy, the prop firm that hasn't paid you what you deserve, Mill, because I just need to help to fund you to get paid. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You're jumping on the grenade for me. How incredibly nice. All right, let's look at the options flow thus far throughout the day. How are we looking? Climbing. S&P 500 pop, pulls back pop, going flat. Surprised we haven't seen a flow alert. Mag 7, same thing, a little bit more crazy path, same thing in the NASDAQ, but thus far it is climbing. I am seeing it's mainly put selling. That's interesting. Yeah, some people did start to buy calls, but this push in Delta is not like clear, straight up bullishness of people ripping calls. It's actually people getting out of, they're selling their puts. Interesting. So I would actually define the pump thus far that we're seeing on the day as not really bullishness, but as a clear lack of bearishness. They are selling puts. There's a little call buying, but in my, I think it's very important to understand, are we going up because the bulls are aggressive, or is it more of the fact that there's lack of bearish aggression? So what we're seeing now is definitely much more of lack of bears than we are seeing aggression from bulls thus far. Now, obviously, this is all dynamic and it can change rapidly, but just see what's going on. Apex is usually more expensive when you add the activation fee. That's true. Right now, some of the cheapest ones are Tradeify and TPT. I bring up those two because they're meant for different traders. If you like the daily payouts and you're more of the trend following trader, okay, that makes sense. But with Tradeify, similar to Lucid, that's where you can get paid out every 5 days. Obviously, the Lucid, what is it? So no, the Tradeify Select Blue Pill and the Lucid Flex are very, very similar. And then they're the 90-10 split instead of the 80-20. So I like them all. I think depending on the type of trader you are, depending on how your system is, you're going to want to take advantage of different types of accounts. I don't think there's a clear winner. I think the clear winner is specific to you and how you trade. But across the board, in my mind, Tradeify and Lucid are very similar. Lucid just came out with the daily one, which is very competitive to TPT. So I like all those. I have TPT and MFF as well. Can you explain how companies like AMD drop after good earnings and others like Palantir can explode? Because it has nothing to do with how this company has done. It has to do with how the market thinks it's about to do. So we just saw that today. SanDisk, Western Digital, they beat on top and bottom lines. But if you're focusing on that, you're looking at what has already played out. You're literally looking at what happened in the last quarter. You're looking at information that's already old. It's already stale. It's what happened in the past 3 months. Remember, the market is a mechanism that's looking at what it thinks is about to happen. So it cares a lot more about the forward-looking guidance, the future guidance. And that's why SanDisk and Western Digital got hit, is because their guidance numbers were not what the market wanted it to be. Same thing with AMD. AMD, it actually had good earnings. It beat. But its guidance, what it said about where it thinks it's about to go, the market did not like. And you can see that. And it happens all the time. I know it's a little strange at first, especially if you're like new to the world of trading. That's like a frustrating thing to get earnings right, to be like, no, I think it's going to beat. And you play that and you're bullish and it does beat. And then the stock goes down anyway. It's a very, very frustrating thing. It's an absurdly frustrating thing. But why that happens is because of a slight maybe misunderstanding of what market participants are looking at. Market participants are trying to predict where it's about to go, what the company is about to do, not what has happened. That's already by definition old news. By definition, it is old news. If you guys could do me a massive, massive favor, smash that like button, whether you're on Rumble or YouTube. When you guys like, subscribe, notifications, even talking in chat, that all drives engagement, which then helps the algorithm think, oh, we should serve this to more and more people. So if you're listening, watching, just vibing out, if you guys could take a quick second, smash the like button. Don't forget to turn on the notifications. Obviously also subscribe. All that type of stuff kind of lets the algorithm on Rumble and YouTube know that, hey, I'm back from a paternity leave, and hey, time to get back with the normal degeneracy of the show type of a vibe. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. All right, SPY starting to turn a little bit. All right, so we've made some higher highs, the green carrots. We've made some higher lows, the red carrots. We are above a key gamma strike. We are above yesterday's close, and even though we dipped, this is interesting. So because we went below yesterday's low, there's actually like a 75% chance that we close below yesterday's close. And I'm saying that while we're above. So some of the basic stats of the market suggest it is more likely than not that we are going below specifically 7723. Now, obviously, we lived there a little bit today. Right now, even though I'm saying that, we just got a flow alert, though. We just got a flow alert, though. Are things going to turn? Remember, flow alert is not inherently bullish or bearish. It just means there's a statistically abnormal amount of trades hitting the market. And anecdotally, I kind of see the reaction from it roughly anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes later. So that fired at 9:52. We're coming up on 5 minutes. I'm curious if this is going to be a bullish or bearish reaction. So as that is happening, the SPY did make a higher low. It did make a higher low right there, 732. NQ, that's the 10 minutes. So we broke 75, running into this potential issue. Hmm. 86. VWAP is 71. Is it worthwhile to play VWAP? Should we be targeting VWAP? That's a good 30 points from here. Are we going to do a quick test of VWAP? We put in a lower high, well, whether it's equal highs or lower highs, but that's also a higher low for right now. I wonder if we're doing a quick little retest of VWAP, overshoot of 500. It's still the higher low. PM Music City. I don't know what the PM stands for, but shout out. Thank you, man. I like the salute. I appreciate the good vibes. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, mother. Oh, mother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. What is this low? 88. What is this low? So this one is 88.50. This one is 86. As of now, the EMAs are curling a little bit here. They're curling a little bit, but we still have this succession of higher lows. Hang on, I did not mean to do that. We still have... Oh, hang on. I didn't even turn on my trade copier. If I even attempted to trade that, nothing would have happened anyway. Nothing would have happened anyway, folks. Nothing would have happened. We just have to wait. Which way is it going to go? Is it going to go 540 and basically pump to 550, maybe 560? Or is it looking for this VWAP retest? As you can see with the book map above me, it's just choppy. Choppy. I am seeing people at 480 though. And then VWAP is 472. Which way does this want to go? Gap on NQ hit yet? I don't think there is a gap on NQ, is there? Are you I mean, it depends. No, there's no matter how you slice it up, there's no gap on NQ. Whether you're just looking at regular trading hours, there was none in overnight. But if you're looking at regular trading hours, we even hit that. That was around like 5:30. So no matter how you slice it up, we have no gap. No gap on NQ. A little fake out breakout, maybe. It just keeps riding this 500 tick 50 EMA. It's fighting. I see these buyers here at 480. I see some sellers at 550. I see some sellers at like 563. Let's see. Calm, cool, collected. Calm, cool, collecting. Your real breakout, fake out breakout. Which one's it going to be? Real breakout, fake out breakout. Which one? Pulled up, fake out, follow through, kind of. How's the flow looking? SPY, it's going flat. It didn't get hit, but not going up. Mag 7 starting to take a hit, which is freaking me out a little bit. Why is price going higher, but we're not seeing follow through in options? NASDAQ definitely got follow through. Is this a fake out? Did it trap people? A little fake. Oh, is that just the fake pump? We'll see. It's still making higher lows successfully. Here we have 1 low, 2 low, 3 low, 4 low, all trending up. The question was that pump getting like it just wicked above the high at 550, hit that 560, filled people all the way up here above my head on bookmap, filled those people. Did it just trap them? We had aggressive buying there. Is it going to dump it on them? Uh-oh. I hit sell, but nothing happened. That's not so good. Okay, that's not so good. Why did nothing happen? I got lucky that nothing happened, but still concerning. You guys saw the thinking wheel there. Even that one, it did take out that low and that low, but right here, it's still holding it. VWAP set this 974. It's holding on decently well. A little range bound, a little choppy. I might have got really lucky. You're overthinking it. The trade didn't even work. Literally, it just got. I don't know. I saw the wheel there for a second. It's trending up. I'm playing the dangerous game of saying, oh, it's going to get rejected here just because I see a lot of resistance. So I'm trying to see if I could get in with reasonable risk. But when I say reasonable risk, that's still tough because the risk could potentially be all the way up here at 40. The order did get placed. I want to see if this actually works or not.
Order filled.
All right.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right. Stop to break even. Trying to ride the break to VWAP. We'll front run VWAP by a couple points. Once again, I locked in some money. Stops to break even. Looks like it's about to get hit. I'm fishing. Maybe it will get hit. Maybe it won't.
Order filled.
All right. Got hit at break even. So was able to lock in a little bit on that one. Was able to lock in a little bit on that one.
Order filled.
What's this one? 86. These ranges are brutal. Is it not going for VWAP? I really thought I'd be good to test VWAP. I'm playing the wicks. What is this? This is 540. I want to move my wrist to there. I'm just giving it a second. I want to see if it breaks down 513. This is what I went short on. It popped up. I thought it was failing there, going for VWAP. I actually like that as a trade. I really do. It just ended up popping pretty aggressively right after, which sucks for me. It didn't even hit 480. No less 475, which was VWAP. I was literally trying to play the classic like VWAP test. Is this not going to break? I need this below 506. It might be holding on to 500 a little too much. Oh, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? Okay, what's this high? 533. This high is 540. This high is 550. I need it back below 506, ideally below 497, which is really, we're just talking about the 500 area. And I do think this is going to go. It's just a question of when. Am I too early for it? Come on. Crack it. Nope, we're cracking the wrong side. We're cracking the wrong side. The 1 minute is not giving much information. What's this dip below? We're cracking the wrong side. Fuck.
Order filled.
Well, that's a bummer. Fuck. Just so you guys know, I was trading these more aggressively because they're evals. I was trading two, not micros, but mini, and then it goes anyway. Well, I guess it didn't want to touch. It was the double bottom reversal. Jesus. Yeah, it never went to VWAP. It hit 87, which was the low at 956 right here. And then pop, pop. Elon Musk is a Nazi. That's a bold statement, except it's not true at all. If you deeply believe he's a Nazi, you're a fucking dipshit. Like, you actually have the IQ of a cardboard box. You might not like him, but what era are we in that you just call people you don't like a Nazi? That's so stupid. You can't point to one thing that you're like, that guy's a Nazi. What you're really saying is you just don't like him. Someone's down on SpaceX. Seems it. That makes him a Nazi. Really, really weird era that we are in, that people, I guess, are like, they just call who they don't like a Nazi. Sure, my cat is a sofa. It's pretty much the same vibes of that. Pretty much the same vibes of that. Going for settlement on NQ? What's that even mean, settlement? Well, he is a Nazi. If you actually sound retarded. Once again, you might not like him. And he did the salute. Oh yeah. No. He 100% did the salute. You're so stupid. Like, it pains me to know that there's other adults in this world who are afforded the same rights and privileges I am. They can vote, they can drive, they can have kids, who are yet so incredibly fucking stupid. The truth is, we don't all deserve the same rights. We all don't deserve the same privileges, because there are people like this who deeply believe, like, they, like, in their heart of hearts believe Elon Musk is a Nazi. And then they cite one picture, and like, you have to be so stupid to believe that, like, so incredibly fucking dumb to think he was doing the Nazi salute. But there are stupid people every single day. There are stupid people every single day, and it just, I don't know. We're not going to be able to fix it necessarily. This guy can vote. People like him are why I have 6 kids to balance it out. LMAO. Yeah, hopefully your 6 kids are smarter than these fucking Karens in here. He did the Nazi salute. He's a Nazi. Like, so stupid. It's dumb on so many levels, because not only are you dumb for not just, like, interpreting reality realistically and watching it yourself and doing some sort of due diligence, like, you're exclusively regurgitating just lines and headlines that you've consumed. But on top of that, it's almost like disrespectful to, like, actually what happened in both world wars. That now, just because you don't like someone, you're like, they're a Nazi. Like, so not only do you have a massive, massive misunderstanding and disrespect for history and some of the craziest atrocities ever committed, but then you also don't at all understand what the hell is going on in current modern reality, and your exclusive ability is to regurgitate whatever you were told to regurgitate. Like, you just saw a headline and you're like, cool, I'm going to say that. Like, it's sad. Like, there's no, I know people bitch and complain all the time about, like, education and how it's lacking in the US. The most insane thing we are missing is critical thought. I deeply believe the average person you run into in this world, and especially in America, has no ability for critical thought. They cannot come up, based on information and evidence, they cannot come up with their own opinions. They can barely regurgitate what they were told to regurgitate. Your ranges, percentages, calls have been pretty dog shit lately, Matt, by the way. What do you mean? I just made $37,000 last week, and I did it live with Discord and also with you. That's shit. Your ranges and percentages. Once again, just another retarded person not understanding math. I can give you the odds of a situation, but when people see, one of the misunderstandings of statistics is people hear a number like, okay, this is 80% likely. And then they're like, okay, so it's going to happen. No, it's going to happen 80% of the time. So Brian, you're also fucking retarded. Like, I give you the odds, but because something is high odds or low odds, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen or not. That's the odds of the situation. In this example, in 80% play, 4 out of 5 times it will work. 1 out of 5 times it will not work. So that's a different type of retarded than this whole Nazi thing, but also just retarded. Also, a special type of fucking stupid. That one, I give you a little bit more of a break because of maybe, I don't know. It's one thing to not understand reality. It's another thing to not appreciate statistics. And I think there's a smaller pool of people who actually understand statistics. So I give you a bit more of a break. These people should have to pay more to auto insurance firms than myself. If your IQ isn't above room temperature, you got to pay up because everyone has to deal with the road as well. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that can be said for people who are just this stupid, and yet they are the same or even more of a pull on our systems around us. Without a doubt. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, the MFFs are fucked. That's without a doubt true and sure. So let me look at the state of MFFs. Let me log in. How much drawdown do I have? Yesterday it took a lot. Like, I was physically tired yesterday trying to save the accounts, and I just like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I just don't know. Do I want to try to save it? That hit. This is going to happen. We talked about this a lot, but then for anyone who is maybe new, you could either be time efficient or financially efficient. Why is this not? Oh, here we go. You could either be time efficient or financially efficient with these accounts. You could be time efficient by playing bigger size and just hoping it goes in your way and you crush that trade. Or you could be financially efficient by trading reasonable size, seeing your system play out, and it's just going to take more time. It is pretty much impossible to be both time and financially efficient. I guess if you're lucky, if you go big size on your first trade, you're both time and financially efficient because you did it on your first one. But that involves obviously a pretty solid streak of luck. So if you're doing it, basically ask yourself, are you feeling lucky on that particular day? That's how I kind of view these prop accounts. It's really tough to have the best of both worlds. And if you are having the best of both worlds, it has a lot more to do with luck than anything else. So that's up to you. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. It's up to you in your personal situation. Do you care more about the time and you want to go right to a funded account, or do you care more about your credit card bill and you want to do it in the lowest financial hit possible? Like that, it's up to you. That's a personal thing. I get asked that question a lot of like, what is better? What's better is just like kind of, it's for you. For me, I care more about, I personally care a lot more about being time efficient than financially efficient, just because I guess I'm a degenerate like that. And that's just how I do things. But once again, not necessarily appropriate for everyone. Sometimes I feel as if maybe I should be a little bit more reasonable. I do. I'm like, maybe I should like let the system play out. But then I get here and you guys get me all, whoa. What was that? Lucid's website just hit me with a really weird video. I don't know what that was about. Then sometimes you guys get me all jacked up and I want to do something degenerate, like trying to play the fall to VWAP, which was stupid. In reality, I should have probably played the bounce off of VWAP if it ever hit, which it never did, because the momentum at that moment in time was clearly going up. So in hindsight, that was the play, but I just thought I could get a quick 20, 30 points and move on with my life and call it a day. SPY is starting to stagger a little bit. The Qs got their upside gap fill before someone was asking about settlement. Maybe you meant closing settlement. It is called that, but that's, I suppose, kind kind of a rare way to refer to it. So I guess if that's what you were talking about, yesterday's settlement, yes, we just hit that. So looking at this daily chart right here, we did get the upside gap fill, leaving the downside gap fill in play. So kind of paying attention to that. I think, once again, this is coming back to the odds discussion. More likely than not, but not a guarantee, this gap will fill before we push like one of these clear highs. But I say that hesitantly because we're already seeing people in chat today misunderstand those statistics. Just because something is more likely than not doesn't mean it's going to play out. So do you like Palantir long-term? Yes, I do have it in my long-term account. I do. Okay, that's going, my portal. Where are we at today? Where are we at? How do I want to do this? I don't think I want to try to save them. It like was exhausting yesterday to try to save those accounts. It really was. Like I was battling it out all day, just scalping in and out of freaking micros. For some of them to work, I was happy about that, just kind of proving it to myself. And then other ones very much did not work. Very much did not work. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. What is needed for the Discord access? Just signing up for the Discord. Just go to Goonie Trading and sign up. Connect your Discord and you'll be good to go. You don't need to like, it's not like a complicated, it's not like you need to solve a Rubik's Cube or something. It's not like there's a math puzzle for you to solve when you get in there. You literally just sign up, connect your Discord, and you are good to go. If for some reason you are presented a riddle by a troll under a bridge, please let me know because I thought we got rid of that bug a while ago. But if somehow the troll with the riddle under the bridge is back there and then that is blocking people from getting into the Discord, please let me know. Like I said, like we put a lot of resources, time, and energy into getting rid of said riddle-based troll, but they're sneaky. That's the one thing that you're going to learn about riddles and trolls is they could be very, very sneaky creatures. Very, very sneaky creatures. Answer if fair value gap is okay to trade. Oh my God, it's the best thing to trade. There's probably nothing else to trade but a fair value gap. It is a time-tested market structure thing, and all the people who are getting payouts and are consistently profitable are trading both fair value gaps and inverted fair value gaps. I don't know, like legitimately, I don't know what else you would be. Is there another strategy to trade? Trend lines. You have to pay for that class, that $6,000 class from Tory Trades. Unfortunately, you have to do that first. But if you're okay with paying for that, yeah. What's a fair value gap? I think it's defined as like a market dislocation. Other people call it connecting highs, wick highs and wick lows and looking at the distance in between. And then they argue that's price action, but they just don't know what they know. SpaceX showing a little bit of life. What's going on? What's going on? I bought the 10K trendline course in support and resistance level bonuses. Oh, dude. How many millions of dollars are you up? Have you learned about the old triple test? The old triple test? Damn, that was actually probably a really nice long right there. What? At 940. 940 was nice. It was a bit chasey there. That could have got you wicked in. The question is this going to hold? It's starting to dip now. I'm like, I know things are really bullish, but what's freaking me out is the fact that the Mag 7, like something is seeing, there's negative gamma. Like, I know this is really bullish and it's been nothing but up, but I guess I don't want to be the party pooper today. I just want to let you know that something is a little strange here. Mag 7 is using this pump to vomit. People are selling their calls into this. Looking at the NASDAQ, same thing. People are selling their calls now. Interesting. Interesting. Does it mean anything, or is it just is it another gosh darn fair value gap? That's the real question. Is it just another fair value gap? Those are the only questions we can really answer these days. Either fair value gap or no fair value gap. If you guys don't actually know about fair value gaps, please understand I'm being incredibly sarcastic about this whole thing because it's a joke. There's a lot of people who talk about fair value gaps and inverted fair value gaps, and yet none of them are making money. They are just making content, and then they show you that, coming back to the conversation about statistics, they cherry pick the times that it would have worked, and then they show you that, and then they just keep regurgitating that shit time and time again. So it's cherry picking, it's Monday morning quarterbacking, and then from there they somehow amass a following because they are trying to engage with people who just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And unfortunately, you see it a lot, like a lot. I mean, I'm sure in here you guys can even admit that you just see it time and time again. LMAO, I was taking serious notes on your fair value gap. Oh no, don't. Don't. Yeah, no. It's you're gonna find information on it, and please understand that you're like, those people who are talking about it, they're not net profitable traders. They are not net profitable traders. They're not even close to it. And we know that because anytime you ask them to, hey, show us your profit, show us your payouts, they get real quiet real quick. Real quiet, real quick. Hang on. Where are we at? This one. Hang on. I'm just connecting some data feeds here. Just connecting some data feeds. Okay. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. Why is that there? My one little Lucid account. Yeah, don't take, well, you could take notes on fair value gaps and just understand that when a fair value gap presents itself, it's as like fugazi as the next thing because it's never time frame dependent. They're like, I saw it here, but I didn't see it there, and I traded that one and I lost money. And then the guy teaching you, it's like, well, why'd you trade that one when you saw a fair value gap on the 37-second chart? You should have been trading it on the 3-minute chart. That's like honestly the dumb shit that they say, and it honestly makes no fucking sense whatsoever. It is horrible. It's not a well-defined system. It's a concept. That's the common retort that you hear from people who like it. They're like, no. It's a framework that I'm trading. It's not actually a system. What the fuck does that mean? What's a trading framework? Matt, show us on the doll where the fair value gaps hurt me. They didn't hurt me because I was smart enough to not trade them. And now I kind of just only talk about it when people ask me, or sometimes I'll shit on them because people ask me, like, why do I talk about things that like don't directly impact me? In a certain sense, they do, because there's a lot of people who, hang on, that's not right. They learn wrong things about the market, and then they blow out and they get pissed off, and then they just blame everyone who's like engaged in the market. And the market itself is phenomenal. There's no better vehicle that mankind has ever created for upward financial class mobility. Like, everyone should be in the market, and then yet people are going to get deterred from the market when they get caught up with shit like that. So it kind of does impact me, or it really does impact everyone, because people are getting blown out for absolutely no reason. There's your book map. We're diving. Is it coming to VWAP now? Was I just way too early on this trade? There's no difference between being early and being wrong. You are, but that doesn't DCAing into SPY, to be clear. And I don't know if it's better than gambling because your odds still have 50-50. But even you could have 50-50 odds and still be profitable. It always comes down to risk management. You could be a profitable trader by just randomly trading on your entries but having good risk management and good size management. You could definitely still be profitable. Matt, why is your group called the Goonies? Because of the movie Goonies, which was one of my favorite movies growing up in the mid-90s. It started as a joke that kind of got out of hand, and here we are. Here we are with another joke on this channel that it is what it is. Oh, wow. The spy is full tripping. Something's weird today, folks. I told you, Matt, why were we going up, but it was puking? Why are we going up, but it's puking? Hang on. I do need to switch. Hang on. I need to switch these because those MFFs are gonzo. Okay, MFF 18. Edit. MFF 19. MFF. I'm just updating it to the trade on the proper accounts. 20. I wish they had a better way to do this. 21. Okay. And 22. Okay. Enable. Okay. So they are all on as they should be. They're all on. Is this going to work? We're just kind of vibing it out at this point. No way. 64.75. I was off by 2 ticks. 2 ticks. Brutal. Brutal development there for Team Matt. 2 ticks. Are you kidding me? There's no way around it. It's just a good old-fashioned bad beat. Like right there. Go short, almost hits, gets murked. Story of my life. I should definitely be bailing on this trade, but I refuse to bail. No, I should definitely be bailing on this trade. 100% I should be bailing on this trade. What am I doing? That's actually a bullish signal. Well, we'll see if it holds 600. Only me having problem with audio. I'm muted? Can you guys hear me? Who's having problems? I'm having problems or you're having problems? Well, now we're going to be mad about it. Come on. At least give me the hope of going break even. Happened to me too. Come back. I think it was YouTube. Oh, YouTube had an issue. My apologies. Let me know if anything weird happens. I'll see if I can reset the doodad for the thingy majiggy. 61. I wouldn't mind locking that in. Nope, it's going to go against me here. Son of a bitch, dude. There is a very fair question of why am I trying to short it early? I think I'm right. I know I'm right. We got to be confident about it. Remember, trading is a confidence game. I think I'm just early, but there's really no difference between being early and being wrong. In fact, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the exact same thing if you really think about it, dude. Is this shit going to knock me out again? I'm at the point where I'm just now tilted and angry about the whole thing. I thought I was being smart early, and I was definitely not being smart. What are we doing? We're hanging out at 600. What's the flow? Look at, like, the flow is still getting hit. The flow is definitely getting hit. A little bit of a pop there, but overall, what's this looking like? 25, 6, 7, 15. SPX, we don't need that. So maybe my real issue is I'm looking at the S&P 500 saying, oh, that's weak. And maybe I should have just been straight up shorting that, because that's the thing that I'm using of like, oh, okay, I think this is going to be cracking. I don't know why. Maybe the better move was to go short on ES. Well, objectively, it obviously was. I'm kind of using that. And then, but there's some unknown amount of strength right now going on in the NQ. A little bit of a disconnection here. I'm going to close it. I don't like it. I don't know. I like this. Once again, I deeply think it's right. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I have to get out. It's just, it's still early. I'm just like, I'm not being patient at all. I keep looking at this and think, okay, this is going to crack. And when I see this, I'm playing it on NQ, which obviously is the wrong play as of now. The SPY getting this double. Damn, that actually was a nice play. Is the thing with live stream, your audio is low, it gets corrected after stream ends, and now you're low. It's correcting my audio later. That feels like a really weird YouTube issue. Matt, waving your hands above your head to see if the volume fixes. Hey, we're gonna try and SPY gets a little bit of a pop. But look, oh, Nasdaq started to climb heavily. Heavily. Nasdaq getting that pop. Bag 7. Dude, it's just mismatch bullshit. I guess maybe the plays literally don't do anything, because right now it's nothing but absolute dog shit. Maybe that's the real play. Those are always the most boring days where, like, objectively you can say, all right, the 1 minute and 5 minute and 10 minute are out of sync with the 1, the 5, and the 10. So probably sit on your hands, which that is a telltale sign that the market doesn't know what it's doing. When the Nasdaq is clearly pushing one way and the S&P 500 just doesn't agree. And if we were to dive into like the deeper reasoning of it, it's because you don't know who's leading who. You don't, like, eventually they're going to snap back and be in agreement, but like, if you're trading it in one way, you're basically saying, no, this is the right one and the other one's the wrong one, which is a very dangerous bet. And I think what sticks out the most in my mind is the 10-minute on NQ and the 30-minute. Look how different it is on ES. Like, they're just, there's no clear evident across the board, we are trending this way, doing that. So if you're looking for the trend following trade, the setup is literally just not there right now. Now, obviously, if you're just doing little scalps here and there, well, that's just like your scalp system. And I don't know how good your scalp system either is or isn't. But in terms of like, no, I'm trying to pick a trend, ES is telling us one thing, the S&P 500 is telling us one thing, and the NASDAQ is telling us a completely different thing. So as much as it pains me to say this, it's probably going to pain some of you to hear this, that the actual move right now for if you're trying to play the trend on the day is literally just sit there, which is not fun. Not fun at all, but that is, unfortunately, that is the play. That is the play. That is the play. And that is not fun at all, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Sand is trying to recover a little bit. I see a lot of people talking about NVIDIA. What's going on with NVIDIA? Ooh, getting hit now. I do think that the SPY wins out. My personal opinion is that the SPY wins out here. Is that right? Well, I'll tell you better at the end of the day. But looking at the odds and looking at the option setup, I think it's all going to get cracked. I do believe that. Um, it's just a question of when. Well, maybe it's also a question of if, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how good my Notre Dame prediction is here. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Anything going on in chat? Dude, this is taking forever. Okay, how do I want to do this? How do I need to find it somewhere deep in my soul to only trade when the 10 minutes on both agree. Like your life becomes so much easier. If you were a person who are like, yeah, some days I have like really good trend following trades, and then other days you're seemingly getting chopped up out of nowhere. I'm telling you, one of the quickest things you could do to probably fix your situation is look for either the agreement or the disagreement in ES and NQ and only trade when they agree, like when they're both doing the same thing. Today would be an example right here. 10-minute and 30-minute clearly bearish on ES. If you look on NQ, 10-minute is bullish, 30-minute is right at its line. So obviously not in agreement. So this would be a telltale sign of if you're getting chopped up today, ask yourself, were you reading one of the sides wrong? And is it because the other one just like wasn't agreeing? And you have to find it somewhere in yourself to have that patience to just wait. Like I know that's really easily said. And trust me when I say it's extremely difficult to execute. It's very, unless you're doing it purely systematically, it is absurdly difficult to execute that consistently, just to have that discipline and be like, nope, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. I think this cracks. I really do. I'm going to try to see if I could get these accounts up in time to actually trade this. Nope, it might be cracking without me. It might be cracking without me. It might be cracking without me. Well, that's less than ideal. All right. Just managing some of these positions. If you're in the Discord, I'm actually adding to that Q play that I posted. So for anyone, once again, in the Discord, we had some Q options that went live. I just added to it, added. And this, why? Because this was actually the exact level that I truly wanted to add at, the overshoot of the fill. But we'll see. We'll see if it was a smart play or a uniquely stupid play. That's the fun thing about this show is we can end up successfully doing both really smart plays and really, really stupid plays. I have nothing but the utmost faith in myself to execute both of those. Dude, I think I just need to be honest with myself and dramatically size down. I'm looking at these accounts right now, and I think the biggest issue is like, dude, just size the fuck down. I think that is the biggest issue, which is probably true for all of us. Well, if it's not true for you, I just want you to know that I'm incredibly jealous because oversizing is the bane of most retail traders' existence. So if you are a person who has found it within yourself to get that monk-like discipline to always have proper sizing, you are, my friend, a very rare breed, a very, very rare breed. Okay. Don't be mad at me, but I think you need to size down. These moves are insane. Oh, 100%. 100%. Are you still in there? Oh, I'm out. I'm flat right now. I'm still waiting to try to short. I've just been too early on all this. Like I still think it gets cracked. I really, really do. I'm just waiting for it. I'm currently flat. Just waiting. there's only so much pain you can take where you just keep getting smashed and smashed and smashed, where you're like, okay, like I'm just obviously early to this, which once again, I'm trying to be honest and earnest. Like being early is wrong. I've been wrong now twice. And I still think that there's going to be this nice move. I just need to be patient for that setup, which I apparently today and many days, especially recently, do not have it within myself to wait for. Apparently, I do not have it within myself. That doesn't seem right. So, just gonna sit here. I'm looking at NQ because I think NQ is the one that cracks. As in, what's another way to maybe say that? I think. What the fuck? I think ES. I think the S&P 500 is a quote unquote right one. I think that just looking at this, I know there's negative gamma up and below. I still see this huge strike at 7,700. But really, my bearish bias is because of how bad the delta got hit. Like I'm just reading the delta here and I'm not seeing the big money follow through. Now, of course, I could be proven wrong and maybe on any second this does turn. That's totally possible. But being objective, it's not a gut feel. I'm like, oh, okay, the bulls left. They left at 1022. Maybe a new wave of bulls comes back. Yeah, that's possible. I don't know. But just off my current readings, I see the SPY took a hit. I see the Mag 7 took a hit, and I see the NASDAQ took a hit. Now, if it recovers, okay, I'm proven wrong. And that's obviously going to happen by real-time trades. But I see Delta's getting hit, and I see this very, very juicy negative gamma node at 7,700. Things might change if this 10-minute can get above and hold above 760, because then the 10 minutes green. Actually, 760 on ES is really important because that's the 50 EMA on both the 10 and on the 30. So at that point, I would probably have to be like, okay, my read is wrong, and we just got to see which way this is actually going. But until that happens, this is clear resistance. The options flow is not following suit how it was previously. So just got to, I guess, wait, which is something no one ever wants to do when trading. No one ever wants to do. Something is wrong with my data feed. Fuck. We're right at the closing value, so it could be we're at a key zone. We're at the close and the low on both the SPY and the Qs. Both are at that zone, the close and the low. The Qs are slightly below, the SPY is slightly above. What is my data feed issue? Oh, no issue. It's all there. Why was what did I think was going to happen? Oh, my Tradeify accounts are missing. Okay, let me reconnect that. Nope, they're not working. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Okay. Are we going fishing? Are we going fishing? That's the real question. Here's your book map. Where's my 1 minute? Wow. It just pierced that low. That's dirty. If they turn this around after barely wicking below that, that's a dirty, dirty setup. Here's mainly what I'm looking at. Where's my NQ? Even the super chen started to break down right there. I kind of like this. That's so, well, I could risk 85. I could do one contract. Freebie play. Did I finally catch it? And if I did catch it, am I being overly greedy by not going for the 50 points, but going for the 75 points? Oh, let's lessen this risk. So I did size down for the first time in my life, trying to do the right thing here. I am short here. Me and you both. We're just reading the flow. The flow is negative. And really what I'm reading now is super chain cracked. We went below the 50 EMA. I'm seeing if it will crack the 100. The 100 is 530. So it could bounce off of 530. And if it recaptures 575, 585, I'm probably screwed because it could just be a 100 EMA bounce, which might literally be happening in real time. VWAP is down at 500. So I'm a little, is it going to bounce? I mean, we have this downtrend. We have these lower highs now. Here's our 50 EMA. Rejection at 50 EMA. If it gets no, it's not. I was going to say the bot should take that trade, but it's not going to because the ranges are too big. It has an auto turn off if the ranges are too big. I could probably, I'm thinking about updating my risk a little. Is it getting rejected right here? It's easier to see it on this chart. Super trend went red. We're at the 50 EMA. Here's the 100 EMA. Which way? That was a tough entry. 45. That's 35 points of risk. But that's what these ranges are. I'm curious, is it actually going to get rejected here? And crack. Not only the recent low, which is important just structurally, but it's also the 100 EMA. Stay tuned. We'll find out. Stay tuned. We will find out. Man, I've just been so bad with like giving a shit about my risk, which is like such a piss poor way. It's a bad example. It's poor discipline. It's so frustrating. I feel like I've just been like just slinging it for no reason. Like, well, it's when you lose a little, you're like, okay, I got to sling it bigger to make it back. And then obviously, because you're slinging it, you're probably now going to get crushed. But like, okay, so my call it on the day, regardless of if this current trade works or not, why was I slinging it short when like I was just trying to get such a good fill that it upon the collapse, I would make so much money. Why not wait for the actual setup? Like, I don't know why. I guess that's what I probably need to do some psychoanalysis about. Like, this is the setup. This is it where, okay, like maybe it's trading, like maybe the trend is shifting is better what I could say. Before this, like you can see how the trend is like actually different. This is the first time for the like kind of double tap the 50 EMA, hit the 100. That didn't happen before. Like there was really no reason to do what I was doing. And even this, if wrong, that's fine. This is an acceptable loss because this was an acceptable entry. Right there. That's a legit entry. We took out a low. We're at the 100. You could have waited for the retest, maybe a little entry here. Like that's all fine. But my point is regardless of this working or not, this is a far better setup to go short than anything else we've seen today. And I just get so frustrated with myself because of like why force it, dude? Like what were you doing? Like just chill. Just wait for the setup. Be patient. Like you seriously had to trade at 10. You couldn't have waited like an extra hour for a better setup. Like calm down. It's just forcing it. Forcing it, especially with size, is going to be detrimental to your trading account. The variable time of day has a bigger effect on you than you realize maybe. Well, time of day, as time goes on, the ranges become smaller, so there's inherently less risk. But there's also less reward. If you get on the right side of an early morning move, there's more money. So it's just the earlier in the day, it's higher risk reward that I obviously mathematically understand. Now, do I always trade with that much respect? Not really. Right now, I size down and the ranges are smaller. So before I shouldn't have been trading. And if I was trading, I should have been really sized down. So sometimes I need to learn the lesson 18,000 times. I mean, I may make you feel urgent in the AM and you make, no, I don't feel urgency. It's just if you get the trade right in the morning, you get a bigger reward. It's not an urgency thing. It's the ranges are bigger in the morning. We all know the ranges are bigger in the morning. If you don't know that, I mean, I guess I don't know what to tell you. The ranges are clearly bigger in the morning. It's not an urgency thing. It's just we know there's large swings in the morning. If you are right, you are very right. If you are wrong, you are very wrong. That's the trade-off. And my question is this a shoulder head shoulder inverse and we're about to pop, or is this another lower high and we're about to crack 535? I'm talking about the psychology effects of knowing you will miss a big move. Yeah, I think that's fair. There could be something in there, like you're just trying to get your good trade in and be like, okay, I crushed it early. But even that, if you're going to do that, you had the opportunity to go long at 411. You had the opportunity to go long at 537. You had the opportunity to go long at 620. You had the opportunity to go long at 610. If you're going to degenerately chase it in the morning, I was degenerately on the wrong side. I was trying to pick the top, and my call out of, and like, to be clear, I still think this falls just because of what we're seeing in options flow. But trying to be the person of like, no, this is the point it ends. Like, for all I know, at the end of the day, we could be sub 250. So my call out was right, but still the issue was there's a big difference between being right on what your bias is and then executing that bias properly. Those are massively two different things. So as much as from my return, I feel like my bias call outs have been very, very spot on, like disgustingly spot on. The execution to take advantage of those call outs has not been, like, very clearly. And now I'm just waiting to see if it recovers 600. I'm in trouble. Could be a quick little rejection. I'm looking for the breakdown of 534. I always get I was in the pool ranges. I don't know what that means, but here I'm here for it. Do you see nuclear stocks as Oklo and SMR as a long-term hold? You mean companies that actually have zero revenue? Probably not. Generally, for companies to do well, you want them to be making money in some way. And maybe I want that technology to be successful. I do. I'm not rooting against it. It's just right now, based on the numbers, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, that was a interesting candle for sure. Interesting candle for sure. I want them to be successful. I just haven't seen any that are quite there yet where it's like worthwhile to slap some money in it. They're great active trades. Like, they can definitely have considerable ranges, but they're not producing revenue. Like, they're just not making revenue. I don't know what to tell you. So, like, do you really want to invest in a company that's making no money? Like, zero revenue. So I hope they figured out. I believe just like the engineer in me that's probably the most realistic energy source we have moving forward. And I want money to get behind it, and I want research to be done on it. We're just not there. It's just the companies aren't executing well. Same thing with quantum computing. People take some of my comments to think like I'm inherently against quantum computing when I say the science it's just not there. It's just not there yet. I hope it gets there one day, and it could be really, really cool for everyone involved, and it could be an interesting market opportunity. But just because I want something to, from a scientific and from a business standpoint, to work out, doesn't mean that it necessarily will. There's certain ones where the science isn't there, but I'm willing to take the shot on it. Something such as Tesla's Optimus or full self-driving or SpaceX, things like that. But that's kind of a bet on the team. Obviously, we have a lot of information on the team surrounding those types of plays. Dude, The bulls are not quitting here. It's still too early. A little fake out breakdown. That's crazy. Unbelievable. Well, like literally fake out breakdown sweeps this low at 545. We undershoot it to the point of about 12 points just to take out this high, battle the next high, but more so we're at the trend line. And we're actually about to switch the super trend potentially back over to being bullish. That was just pullback in time. I mean, that's all. What time frame are you on? Pullbacks, this, that, the other thing are all, I feel like we have this conversation all of the time. They are all time frame specific. Like every single highs, lows, pullbacks, rips, it might be true in the time frame you're looking at, but it might not in another time frame. And it's not like that makes one true or not true. They're all inherently true. They're just true to that time frame. You could say in the 10-minute chart that this is a sell-off. Okay, that's true. You could say in the 15-second chart right here, that's a pump. That's also true. You could say on the daily chart, it's a massive pump and we're at all-time highs. Yeah, that's also true. Like this idea of people trying to call out pumps and highs and lows and which way are we trending? Basically, trends and structure are all hyper-specific to the time frame you are looking at. And that's why it's going to be beneficial to you to use multiple time frames, to use that, just because from there you can get an idea of like, okay, generically across the time frames that you care about, the handful that are somewhat related to the time frame that you're involved in the trade, are they agreeing? Are they disagreeing? That's why you want to use multiple. I believe using exclusively one time frame, honestly, even one indicator, one product, I think you're doing a disservice to yourself. I think multiple timeframes give you more information. I think somewhat related products such as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are beneficial. And then I also think non-related, uncorrelated indicators are also going to be helpful. But this idea of just using a product, a timeframe, a indicator, and thinking that's a way that you're going to make money, it's not. It's not. And if you could do it, I guess congrats to you. I find it very rare that people can properly do that. But hey, maybe you're one of the lucky few. Maybe you're one of the lucky few. We just made a higher low on the 10. Interesting. Might be going for it. Speaking of time frames, like what I'm looking at right now is, okay, so the 1 minute almost broke down. It saved itself. Kind of impressive. 5 minute never broke down. 10 minutes stayed bullish. What's interesting here is the 30 minutes really battling on the NASDAQ, but we're seeing, this is where today's like uniquely shitty is. Okay, right now the 1 minute's pushing. The 5 minute almost broke down, now going. 10 minutes battling. What I'm really focusing it on for like a multi-day swing type of a setup is the SPY won't break. Like the Qs are trying to go. They're like very much trying to go. But the S&P 500 is refusing to follow. Absolutely refusing to follow here. It's tempting, but like the 10 and the 30 just look massively different between the two. They look massively different. Oh, SPY's starting to catch a bit after getting hit. So maybe the break is in this direction. Like finally starting at 1052. It's starting to show like life. Mag 7. Even the NASDAQ here. It's starting to show a bit of life, team. It's starting to show a bit of life. London closing. Who gives a shit? Tell us enough. Tell us that you've been watching too many dumb fucking ICT videos that you think this is because of London closing. Oh my God. There's just so many people who like learn just such wrong things. Matt saying it caught a bid is a signal to short. Well, be careful. A lot of buyers are stepping in on this particular pump. Looking at Bookmap, it's choppy and there's not much agreement, but this last pop, huge block here at 570. 800 contracts putting in a bottom shelf at 570. It's the yen. That's what it is. More important than, far, far more important than the London closing. We all know is the yen and whatever the yen has to do. Nvidia is getting rocked. SpaceX mid-ground. SPY doesn't know what it wants to do. The Qs did get their upside gap fill. It was on shaky ground, and then starting at 1047, we saw a pretty decent recovery. A very decent recovery, actually. It's always the yen or Jane Street. Yeah, those are the two. Those are the two. Choppy day, not a good one. I mean, the SPY, like, I get that the Qs look good, and if you're focusing on that, you're probably going to be thinking, Matt, you're crazy to be bearish here, but the SPY is just telling a completely different story. So maybe you don't want to be bearish, but at minimum, you should be thinking, okay, this is a choppy, shitty session, and maybe I should just wait a little bit because this, I mean, is it just a crazy break here? Like, what the hell is happening? What is happening? I think something's up. My spidey senses are tingling, and I think some of this is going to get cracked just looking at some of this flow. But it is 11. Please be careful today. Things are not lining up for that nice trend following trade, so probably better to do your smaller trades, your scalps. Be careful of your size, and make sure to be paying attention to the big player positioning on Bookmap, and obviously the big player positioning also on options. Very, very influential. If you want to get a TPT account today, don't forget to use that code Goonie, 40% off. No activation fee, daily payouts, no consistency, no DLL. A pretty swell option if you ask me. Other than that, hey, I'm sorry today wasn't better, but surprisingly, I'm not the one allowed to make the market go up or down, and its choppiness. Maybe the afternoon will bring about some like actual trend. That would be super, super nice. But for right now, it is nothing but a choppy shit show. So could just be a stall pattern. Could everyone just be like waiting until tomorrow's non-farm? We're getting unemployment tomorrow morning, an hour before the market opens. Maybe they're waiting for an update on the Iran situation. So whatever it is, we're in this choppy mismatch situation, and it's incumbent upon us, the traders, to just kind of wait for this to actually stop, for there to be a new trend. Once again, that's for the more of the trend following traders. If you're scalping, whether breakouts, breakdowns, like little structural things, good luck. I mean, you're getting enough movement, getting enough range. I really do hope that you crush it. So with all that being said, I wish you the best of luck. We'll be posting content later on today and then streaming once again tomorrow. So just wanted to share that with all of you, and best of luck. Peace.